conference will now be recorded.
Hi, all. Very good morning. Okay. Let me give you a quick recap, like what we have discussed in yesterday's session, and we will try to understand the remaining concepts in, uh, DDL. Before moving forward, I just want you to revise the concept of, schema and information schema. It would be, appreciated if you can discuss about schema and information schema. Okay. Now, um so in the previous session we were trying to understand about creating a database, creating a database and creating a table inside that database. Along with that, we come across different kinds of database, data types. Okay, so we have understood the different types of data types, and we tried to create a table with that data types. After that, we understood constraints. Okay, so there are six constraints. Out of that six constraints, we come across five, I think five constraints, right? Not five. Okay, four constraints. So any doubts in the yesterday's session? Any doubts in understanding anything so far? If no, I'll.
Can you share yesterday's session, please? I haven't written it to some reasons.
Okay. I think in the group I have shared the link, yesterday's class link. Uh, yeah, today I just shared in the morning. Please go through that. So yeah, nothing. In the yesterday's session. So in the yesterday's session, I have created a table. Okay, which means only with the data types. So previous session we discussed about the data types, right? By using that we have created a table, we have understood the schema, not schema, we have understood the syntax to create a table. Okay, after understanding that syntax and after creating few tables, we understood that no column name should be same in a table. If it is same, this is the error we are going to get. Another thing is no table name should be same in a database. Okay, so this is what our conclusion. Along with that, we have constraints also. Okay, so in the constraints, out of six constraints we just come across not null, unique, check and default. Okay, this we will be understanding practically. Behavior of these constraints will be understandable once we come into this DML concept. Okay, so as of now, remember we have like how we can create a table with constraints. Okay, as of now, remember that. Now, so not null is a feature. Not null is a constraint which says no nulls are included in this name column. So into this name column, null values are not allowed. That is the meaning of not null constraint. Next, ID we have. ID which is of unique constraints. You know, right? Column name, data type, followed by a constraint. Column name, data type, followed by a constraint. So this is the structure we need to follow. And if you see, this is the uh, syntax. You can have n number of columns. For those n number of columns, you should have n number of data types. Okay, n number of data types in the sense, you should, if you have taken n number of columns, you must have n number of data types. Okay, and constraints are optional. If you feel like only for one column you need constraint, for other columns you don't need any constraint, it's okay, you can take it. I'm not telling you that if you are taking a constraint for a table, all the columns should be having a constraint. No, I am not telling like that. For a table, let's say we have five columns. Out of those five columns, you feel like you want only one constraint for one column. Remaining four columns, constraints are not needed. Perfect, go ahead. No need of any constraints. Okay, so here I have taken in order to make you understand each and every constraint. Okay, I think for me this is not required, but obviously the table got created, right? So I'll tell you like how we can drop a constraint. So that is a different concept in DDL that we will be discussing today. Okay, so this is the way of creating a uh, I mean, the way of taking a constraint to a table creation. Now, let us try to create a primary key and foreign key. So, in order to do that, first we need to understand one particular thing. So, foreign key is nothing but a child table. Primary key is nothing but a parent table. So in the sense, if a table was having a primary key, then if you have a foreign key must have a primary key. In order to create a foreign key, we must have a primary key. Okay, so for creating a primary key, you no need anything. Like how you have taken these constraints, like that you can take other constraints also. Okay, now let me give you a syntax to create a primary key. Otherwise, let me create two different tables here. Create table name is primary key example. Okay, primary key example columns I am just taking. First will be id, which is of int. So for this id column I'm just taking primary key. See, what is primary key generally? Primary key is a combination of unique and not null. Okay, so into this primary key column, see, id is a primary key column, right? So to this column, no nulls are accepted. This column will not accept any duplicated values. So this behavior together we call it as a primary key. Okay, now what I need is I am just taking another column which is nothing but a name, varchar of 10. Okay, two columns is enough for me as of now. So this is a primary key example, right? No need to do anything, just hit control E. Okay, now tell me, this is a table, right? Primary key example, right? Now let me check this table. Okay, so I want to create in this, right? So let me refresh this one. Why I have only two tables? Where is my primary key example? Yeah, of course I have created only two tables, but this table also I have created. No, where is that table?
Because you only executed one, right?
This one
Yeah.
executed in this, I have executed in.
Master.
Yes, perfect. See, this table I have executed in master database. And how can I see this table in db underscore batch 12 database? No, right? So in which database the table is created, in that database only the table will be there. Okay, so remember, this is very important. Now I don't want that to be in master database. I want to drop this table from the database permanently. What was the command we have in SQL to delete something from a database permanently?
Drop.
Correct. See, drop. So what we are going to drop here, table. Drop table, table name you need to give. So this is a table name. So drop is a keyword that help us to delete the objects from the database permanently. Got it? See, this drop command we have seen while creating a database. Maybe here we just missed, but if you remember the class, in the class I have told you to drop the database. To drop the database which we have created previously, we use drop command. Drop database name. Drop table name. Drop view name. Drop index name. You know, those are all objects, right? So as of now we come across only database and table. So to drop the table we have drop command. So let me execute this one. Control E, executed. Now I will not be having this table in the master database. Okay, if you want, I'll show you this in a master database also. So master database you will be seeing in system databases. Expand this one. Oh, there are many tables. Yeah, we don't have this one. See, primary key example table we don't have. Okay, fine. Now I just want to create this in a db underscore batch 12. So how can I do that? See, I don't
Use.
want. Yes,
We can
perfect. So
use.
we should use the command called use database name. So this one. Now let me create that. See, now refresh your tables. See, primary key example. Now expand this table. See, you have this one, right? Prime columns. Under the columns, see here in id it was having what? Key symbol. So primary key will be indicating towards the outside. Okay, see here it was taking pk int, which is not null. Did I give anywhere not null constraint here? No, right? So without giving that constraint also, by default it is taking a not null, which means the behavior of primary key is nothing but not null and unique. It will never accept duplicate and it will never accept null values if your column is having a primary key. Okay, so maybe you get this doubt, Bhavya, what happens, why can't we take unique and not null at a time? Why we are taking primary key? Let us see. Let me create a foreign key example here. Create table, sorry, foreign key example. Okay, so under this one I'm just taking uh, id which is of int, and this is a normal one. Next name which is of varchar of 10. Okay, one let me take, we are not doing anything, no? So name, and the next one we have is number. Okay, let us assume num. Okay, so num which is of int. Now I want to create a foreign key here. Foreign key. See, the moment you take a foreign key, this is nothing but this table will be acting like a child table. So for this child table we must have a parent table. Okay, so what I'm just doing is, for this child table, primary key example table I am considering as a parent table. Okay, so foreign key references. References what? See, let me take this table. Here I don't have foreign key, no, I'm just taking id here. Okay, so id of this particular table, I'm just copying this table and I'm giving it as a of id. Okay, I'm just making, in a readable way. Okay, see, every constraint you can take directly, but foreign key, references keyword is required, because this num column will be referencing into this particular id column. Let me execute this one. So whether it is going to execute, or whether it is showing any error, let us see. See, is it executed? Yeah, foreign key executed, right? See, one particular column is required. Okay, this foreign key doesn't require any okay, this column should be unique, this column should be not null, this column should be something else. No, no, foreign key is similar to other columns only, but it was having some relation. Now what happens, let me refresh this one. Foreign key expand the columns. See, somewhere it is showing, the key was facing inside. Here it was having an F key, FK. Now let me take a database diagram. Okay, I'll show you what is this database diagram and all. Nothing, a simple ER diagram. It's something like that. I'm just adding this one. Primary key also add. Okay, now it is fine. These three tables, somehow here it was having a primary key, here it was having a foreign key, and no key was there, no primary or foreign key was there. But unfortunately, this foreign key table is a child table for this parent table. Okay, this student constraint example, this is a parent table for this foreign key example table. Okay, now this id was having unique values. Okay, but it can accept null, right? Even if it is unique, it can accept null, right? Yes, so maybe in the future null should not be linked with this foreign key table. In that case,
Bhavya,
only,
can you please explain this foreign key table again?
yeah, fine. See, not yet, we are not yet done, so in simple I'm just telling you. See, this foreign key is also a constraint. Okay, so foreign key is nothing but a child table key column. If a table was having a foreign key, always remember it will be having a parent table. Okay, so for this particular table, the student constraint example is a parent table. How we can know that it is a parent table? Because this particular foreign key example table is referencing to this particular parent table. Okay, and this foreign key can have duplicates, can have null values, can have, wrong data, can be null, anything is fine. But but the parent table should be unique and should not have nulls. This is a general concept that we are going to discuss. But here what I have done, I have taken a parent table which will accept a null. Okay, here I was having unique, that's fine. Okay, but what about null? This particular table is having a null, right? So in order to avoid that null also, we are just taking a primary key. See, instead of student example of id, you can take primary key example of id, because this was having a primary key, automatically the relation is detected. No worries, for anything it will be detected. But nulls and duplicates can be avoided if you have a primary key. Okay, and one more thing, let me create a normal table just for checking purpose. Okay, I have a student table. No? What I will do is I will just take here. I'm dropping this table again. Drop table, this foreign key table. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm dropping this one. Okay, now the same I'm going to create again, but this time I'm not referencing this particular table. Let me take only student table. Okay, stu id, I think. What is that? Stu id, right? Student of stu id. I just want to show you something. Yes, see, this error I just want to show you previously, but because of the unique constraint, I'm not getting any error. Okay, I'll explain you this error now. See, there is no primary or a candidate key in the reference table student that match the referencing column list of a foreign keys. See this one, this is the foreign key number. Now what it is telling, to have a foreign key, to have a references. See, foreign key is also known as what? Referential integrity. So what is meant by referential integrity? It is so simple. See, referential integrity means you and me are having some connection. Okay, maybe you are learner, I am trainer, we are having this connection, right? So if I'm teaching some other language, and if you are not going to learn that language, and you and me are not having any connection, right? A reference was not there because of a common column. In our case, common column is nothing but a learning a language. Here, common column should be there. So for this number, the common column, we thought student ID is a common column, but it is not a common column. Why it is not a common column? See, the basic thing first, everybody should remember is, if you are taking a foreign key, that should be references either a candidate key or a primary key. What do you mean by candidate key? So candidate key is nothing but a key which has a uniqueness. Unique key is nothing but, unique column is nothing but a candidate key. Primary key means combination of unique and not null. Together we call it as a primary key. So if you see this, let me remove this one. Yeah. So if you see this, here the table got created because this particular id was having a unique constraint, which means candidate key is referencing. But if you see here, it's a normal table. Student id is nothing but a normal table. No candidate key, no primary key. That is where the table got error. So now tell me, to create a primary key, do we require anything? To create a primary key, to create to create a primary key column.
No, we don't.
Yes. No, we don't require anything. To create a foreign key, do we require anything?
We need a primary column.
Yeah, primary key column or a candidate key column. So what do you mean by candidate key column?
Unique or not null.
So generally the candidate key column will be unique. Got it? So I mean this candidate
Yeah, I
key
think you have
primary,
connection problem. Your voice is breaking.
even now it is breaking.
It's okay now.
It's okay now, right? Okay. So what about reminding people? Are you able to hear me properly or is it breaking?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, fine. So what I'm just trying to tell you is what Bhavisha has told, absolutely correct. We no need anything to create a primary key. Okay. And moreover, to create a foreign key, we require primary key column or a candidate key column. Now, what is primary key column? A column which has unique and not null.
And
Correct. Now, what is candidate key column? A
its
column which
differences.
is unique. Yeah. So if you remember, uh, see, if you see here, this id was having unique constraints. That is where we didn't get any error previously. But now, what about now? Now we are getting. Why? What is the error? To create a child table which is nothing but a foreign key, you must require primary or candidate key column. So how you can do it? By using a references keyword. See, this yes is also mandatory. If you remove yes, you will get again an error, syntax error. This yes is also mandatory, references. Okay. So what is the syntax to create a foreign key? Name, sorry, column name, followed by data type, followed by a constraint. So how foreign key constraint has taken? Foreign key references primary key column table, or its parent table of a primary key column or a unique candidate key column. Okay, let me write it down, write this here. um to create a, sorry, foreign key column, we must require parent table of primary key or candidate key column. Okay, so this you need to remember. Now we understood how we can create a table. uh, just give me a minute. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, okay, fine. Sorry. See, this is, I mean, we understood how to create a table with data types and constraint, right? And also how to drop a table permanently from a database. Now, we need to understand how we can make the changes, how we can modify the existing table. Yeah, out of should create command to create a table. We understood the drop command. Now let us understand this alter command. So what do you mean by alteration in general? Alteration means what? Alteration. Hey, in general English, changing something, right? Doing some modifications to the existing one, right? Similar to that, I want to do some modification to the existing table. Then I will be going for alter command. Got it? Now let us try to do let us try to understand few alter commands here. I have these tables, right? Let me refresh. Okay, so here I have primary key example, student, and student constraint example. Okay, now in the primary key example table I have id and name columns, right? I just want to add another column to this particular table. How can you do that? How can I do that? By using an alter command, because we are just modifying the existing table, right? See, if you want to modify the existing, maybe you will get this doubt. Bhavya, drop that table and create the table again. Are you thinking the same? Why you are altering, Bhavya? Drop that and create it again. Let us think in a business scenario, or else let us think in a industry way. We have a table, we have a data in it. Again, we have to create a new column which with the data, or else with some default value, or maybe in the future it may have some values. Now tell me, you have a data. How can you drop the table? If you drop the table, it will be dropping from the database permanently. So can you drop the table and create again a table with the new column? Which is very bad. We are not going to do that. Now what you have to do is, you have to alter the table. Altering is what? Doing modifications to the existing one. Now in my case, primary key example table is my table for altering it. I want to add one column to the existing primary key example table. How can I add a column? To add a column, alter table name you want to take. So what is that table?
Primary key example table.
Perfect. Primary key, sorry, primary key example. Okay, alter table name you want to add, right? So that's where you take add keyword. Add what you want to add? Column. No need to give any column here. What you have to do is just to take what the column name you want to add. I want to add email, which is of var char of 10. Okay, this is enough. So I just want to add email column to the primary key column. So alter table name, add column name of data type. No need to mention here add column name, no, not required. Maybe in some other database, maybe in Oracle platform or at some other platform, if it is required you can go it, but the syntax is same, no. What you have to do is you have to take column keyword. Okay, but in SQL server to add column, no need of taking column keyword. As of now you can take add column name followed by a data type. If you want to take any constraint followed by a constraint, also you can take. Okay, so is it possible to add is it possible to add a column after creating a table? Tell me, this is an interview question.
Yes,
Perfect.
by using.
Now, is it possible to drop a column from the existing
Yes,
table?
yes,
So, can you help me to do that?
we can use drop command.
Perfect. So, I request Bhavisha to mute for some time. Rest of others can, help me to do that. Others can help me to do that.
We can use the drop command and we can drop the primary exam key example column.
Okay. So, for that we use alter table. So, help me to drop any column. Except this primary key column, I don't want to drop that. Help me to drop name column. Drop.
Mm,
Yeah, so here what you have to do is um draw, I mean alter table name, this is common. To add we are just using add column, I mean add keyword. To drop we are just using drop. So here you need to mention this column name. Okay, sorry, column keyword. To drop the column you must require a column, that column keyword. So followed by what? Just a column name, no need of any data type, no need to mention anything. So to drop a column for from the existing table, you want to follow drop column name, alter table name, drop column name. This is the syntax. Perfect, very good. So a column got dropped. As of now I will not drop any primary key and foreign keys, because those are have holding a separate information, separate way of approach. Now adding a column is done, dropping a column is done. Can I add a constraint? Can you help me to do that? Just help me, I will try to work with you to add a constraint. Okay, help me to add unique constraint to this email, to this email column. Okay, are you using any chat box here? No. Okay. Is to add a constraint, unique constraint. Alter table, table name is nothing but primary key. Bhavisha, I think you can only help me.
how we added email variable like that we can add the constraint also.
Perfect. So add. So here, see here, while adding a column, everybody see, while adding a column, no need to mention any column keyword, right? But while adding a constraint, you need to mention a constraint keyword. See, these all commands you will remember only if you practice, otherwise no, no other way. People are, see, in the industry, people who are working in the data side, they are getting huge pay. Why they are getting huge pay? Because of these commands and the business logics. Other people cannot do analytical things in the by using an SQL. Other programmers, we are doing it, that is where we are getting huge pay. So at least for that pay we need to remember these commands. Now, add constraint. Constraint name you need to take. So my constraint name is con underscore unique, unique, something like this. I'm just taking anything is fine. Constraint name can be anything. Names you can take whatever you want. Constraint name. So to which constraint you want to add? Email, right? So unique constraint, unique of email. Add constraint, constraint name. To which column you want to add this one? Email, unique of email. See, previously if you see here, while creating a table, where is that table? Yeah, so while creating a table, column, data type and the constraint. But while altering this one, add constraint. See, while creating a table, if you are taking a constraint, no need to take any constraint name. So by default it is taking. But while altering a table, you must take a constraint name and followed by to which constraint you are using, constraint of that column name you have to take. Okay, this example I have told you, right? Now let me create this one. Okay, this got created. Now let me refresh this. I think this table can be enough. Okay, now let me take a student table. Okay, into the student table nothing was there, fine. Now what I have to do is I want to add default constraint to the student ID. Can you help me to do that? Default constraint, same thing, right? Same. Alter table, table name is
Table. Yeah.
alter table
Primary key exam. Sorry. Student.
student. So add constraint, constraint name I want to take, right? I just want to add what is the default to the student ID. So add constraint, after that constraint name, something like def I'm just taking. Now default of I just want to give name here, right? I mean a value here, right? So what is the value I want to give? Some so and so value. I think stUID equal to 10. Equal to is not supported. I'm not sure whether we can do it or not. Let me execute this. Okay, so incorrect. Yeah, perfect. So incorrect syntax. Just give me a minute, guys. Yeah, sorry. So this is the error I just want to show. Incorrect syntax for definition of the table constraint. I'll tell you this one. Okay, this one you are getting an error, right? Okay. Now help me to add a constraint of not null constraint. Yes, you tell me, like one example I have given, right? This is the way I told you. This is how you can add. Now help me to add the constraint of not null. To add not null is also a constraint, right? To add not null. So same, alter table student add
Add constraint,
constraint of con underscore not null.
not null.
Not null. Now not null of some any other column, name column. Now let me execute this one. Incorrect syntax near the keyword not. Actually, if you observe here, not and null, we have space here. See, we have space between not and null. So the same space I'm just taking not and null. If I remove space, it is something taking like a name. So I don't want that. I want space. Now what I just want to tell you is, for this one I'm just getting an error, right? Let me copy that error. Okay. See here, default is a table constraint. If you see here, it is a table constraint. So what do you mean by table constraints? So constraints are of two different types. One is, um, see, can constraint be applied at both column level and table level in SQL Server? Yes, there are few constraints that can be applied on column level, which is by using a alter command. There are few constraints which is only applicable, I mean only applied on the table level, which is default constraint. Okay, so default is the only constraint. Say if you want, you can add primary key constraint by using alter command. You can add foreign key constraint by using alter command. You can have alter constraint by using a alter command. You can have check constraint by using an alter command. Default constraint cannot be added at column level by using an alter command. It is only applied on the table level. Got it? Next one. Bhavya, you said that not null constraint can be added at column level, no? But here we are getting error, right? This error is because if you see the name column here it was already taking a null. If you have null, it is somehow impossible to add not null constraint. To add not null constraint is impossible, but to modify null as not null is possible. There is a difference. Understand my word. Understand my words. To add not null constraint, impossible. To modify null as a not null is possible. Now let us try to understand how we can modify that. Okay.
So instead of using add keyword, we can use modify.
We unfortunately that modify keyword in SQL Server is not supported. In some other language it is supported. Okay, so how I am just modifying is, um, I'll tell you. See, these are all interview questions, guys. This, a person who has experience in the real time, only those people can have this knowledge. Okay, because why I'm asking you to learn this one is, if you are giving an interview, these points you can talk there. They will feel that okay, you have some knowledge. That is where on the beginning of the course I mentioned, right, you will be equal to the person who has 3 or 4 years of experience. So to um, modify null to not null. So see, here we have this adding a column, right? So by using this approach we will do that. By using this approach, now uh, this is the name column, right? Student I want to take. Student add name, which is of varchar of 10, the same data type I'm just taking. Here I'm just taking constraint, not null. Now execute this. Column names in each table must be unique. Okay. What I will do is,
Address.
no, no. Okay, okay. Instead of add, I'm just taking add. No, I was already having add. Alter name. Uh, Varchar of 10. Yeah. So this is the one. So actually, previously we add the column, right? So instead of add, we have to take alter. Alter column, column name, data type, followed by a constraint. So alter table, table name, alter column, column name. This is all the column definition, right? So this, that whole column definition we need to alter. As you said, can we have a modify? Yes, right? One of you mentioned, right? Can we use modify? Yes. See, we don't have that modify keyword here. Instead of modify keyword, we have alter keyword. Alter or modify, both are same, no? In general. Here it is supporting alter. Just execute this one. Now let me refresh this table. Now expand this table. See, now not null is modified. This to the same column I have modified null to not null. Got it? Sorry. Yeah. This is how you can modify by using an alter column, by using an alter command. If you take add, my bad, I have taken add before. So add is to add, right? I don't want to add the column, or I don't want to add the constraint, I want to modify it. So to modify we have only alter command. Now can we add a primary key to this particular table, to this particular student ID? Now
Yes,
let
we
me
can.
do that. Yes, we can, right? Bhavya, you told previously we can add a primary key constraint. Now let us see. You should tell me if I get this error. Alter table student add constraint c1 underscore pk. Constraint name is nothing but primary key of student ID. Yes. See here, what is the error? Can't define primary key constraint on nullable column in the table of student. So what it is telling? What it is telling? What is the definition of primary key?
Unique and not null. So it's
Perfect.
already this student is already null.
Perfect. That is what I just wanted to tell you. Okay. To see, to have a primary key, first our column should be a not null. It should be a not null. because the definition of primary key is what? Not null and unique. Okay, so here I have a null, that is where for me it is impossible to do that. So how can I make this as possible? Can I alter this particular null to not null, and can
So
I
not
have a
none.
primary key?
Yes, we can.
Yes. So now what I will do is, instead of student ID, here already I have not null, no? On top of that, let me take a primary key name. Here actually not null was there. See guys, are you able to understand why I'm changing here student ID to null? Because of nullable column. Okay, here already I have null. What is the by default feature of while creating a table? To all the column, null is taken. Okay, see now it is accepted. This thing you need to remember. Fine. So tomorrow we will understand dropping a foreign key. Okay, adding a foreign key and dropping a foreign key, and dropping a primary key. These two things we will understand tomorrow. There is a small, concept to understand dropping a foreign key, that I will discuss in tomorrow's session. Okay, so I think you are clear with this concept what we have discussed today. We have created a table by using a foreign key, and we understood the candidate key and the primary key. Along with that, we also understood drop command, and we also understood this alter command also. Hardly in tomorrow, I mean by tomorrow we will complete this DDL. Day after tomorrow we will start DML, which is very important and very interesting also. Okay, so if you have any doubts, please go ahead.
Can we get any assignments regarding this DDLX?
Yeah, uh, yeah, maybe tomorrow I will give you, so that tomorrow you will be clear with all the concept,
Yeah, okay.
like adding and removing the foreign key and primary key, right? So on the overall concept I will give you assignments on DDL whole thing. Okay. So as of now, schema and information schema, we don't have time to discuss that, right? Maybe in tomorrow's session also you can get back to me about that schema and information schema. Very simple. Just explore little on what is schema and what is information schema, and tomorrow we will discuss that. It is just a small concept. I want you to work on it. That's it.
Is it related to
Okay.
DDL only?
It's related to SQL, but it's fine. We can discuss early of SQL, or we can discuss the sessions ending also. Anything is fine, but maybe if I enter into this foreign, adding a foreign key and dropping a constraints, how we can drop a constraint, their information schema concept arises. So before that,
Yeah.
I request, before tomorrow, it will be better if you know about these two things. Just
Okay,
research
sure.
on it. Tomorrow I'll explain what is schema and what is information schema.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So that's all from my end for today, guys. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask in the group, or else you can ping me personally also. And meanwhile, send your emails, because I have received only two. So the classes will get private. So I'll just give access to your emails. Okay. Yeah. So thank you, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye.